So the iPhone 11 Pro Max is the current PhoneBuff style battery test champ. And when you take a look at the rankings on our websites, no other phone right now comes close to it. But today, it's going up against its biggest competitor in the Galaxy S20 Ultra, a phone that not only has a more power efficient processor compared to last year's Galaxy, but it also has a massive 5000 mAh battery, which is 25% larger than the 4000 mAh battery on the iPhone. However, the Galaxy does have a more power-hungry display with its high refresh rates, which we decided to set at 120Hz, considering that is one of the standout features on this phone. Now, don't worry, we are going to be doing the 60Hz versus 120Hz battery test in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I'm excited to see how these two phones stack up to each other. These are two of the best phones in the world right now, so the question remains, which one has the best battery life? Find out. It's that time of year again. We're doing another giveaway, this time for a brand new Galaxy S20 Ultra. And all you have to do to enter to win is follow us at PhoneBuff on Instagram. And that's literally it. This giveaway is international and we'll be announcing the winner on April 30th with all the links and info that you need down below. So we'll start things off in the phone app, where each phone is going on the same 1-hour phone call. Both phones are in equal distance of the mini cell tower that we have installed in the lab, and both phones have consistent audio playing on the other end of the call to make sure that we're stressing those earpieces, where after 1 hour, the iPhone drops by only 1% down to 99, while the Galaxy falls by 5%, all the way down to 95, which when you consider that the S20 Ultra has a giant 5000 mAh capacity, it's a pretty significant drop. I'm not sure if it has to do with that new 5G modem or if it was something else, but we ran multiple trials and these results were consistent. Here in the messaging test, we've been going back and forth with our automated chatbot, where after 1 hour of texting, the iPhone is able to improve on its lead, pulling 6 percentage points ahead, with its battery dropping by only 7% compared to the 9% drop on the Galaxy. In this email test, we're simply opening up emails and scrolling through them a couple of times like you would in real life, where after 1 hour of email, we get a similar result as the last test, with the iPhone pulling another 2 percentage points ahead, bringing its total lead to 8 percentage points very early on in this battery test. We'll see if the S20 Ultra can cut into the iPhone's lead here in the browser test, where we're cycling through the same set of websites on each phone, where after an hour, this time the difference is at least a little bit smaller, but the iPhone still did a better job, dropping by 9% compared to the 10% drop on the Galaxy. Here in Insta, we're doing exactly what you would do in real life, simply scrolling through the home feed, where due to the sheer amount of scrolling that's going on in this test, it's going to be interesting to see how that 120Hz display has an effect on the Galaxy's battery life. But after 1 hour, it actually doesn't do much worse, with the Galaxy only falling behind by 1 percentage point. So as we head into halftime here with the standby test, obviously the iPhone is outperforming, but given the bigger screen and the higher refresh rate, the S20 Ultra is at least hanging in there, and after the 16-hour standby, it's actually able to match the iPhone's performance, with both phones doing really well, dropping by just 6%. As we move on to YouTube, it's worth noting that we've calibrated the speakers on each phone to the same decibel counts, and of course, the screen brightness has also been calibrated to the same level as well. And after 1 hour of binge watching PhoneBuff on YouTube, the iPhone improves its 10-point lead up to 12 points, with it at 54% compared to just 42 on the Galaxy. And unfortunately for the Galaxy S20 Ultra, things might just get even worse here in the gaming test, considering it has a larger screen and again, that higher refresh rate. And after 1 hour of playing an Alto's adventure, actually somewhat surprisingly, the Galaxy was able to match the iPhone's performance, with both phones dropping by an equal 10%. So we've seen the Galaxy do worse in some areas and match the iPhone in others, but what it has yet to do is beat the iPhone in any one of these tests. We'll see if that changes here in Maps, where we're simulating navigation by having each phone's GPS sensor turned on and both phones actively checking for traffic information, where after 1 hour, The difference is a small one, but the iPhone still managed to do better, with it adding yet another percentage point to its lead. Here in Spotify, we have our robot listening to its favorite pattern of sounds, again with both phones having their speakers calibrated to the same decibel count, where after 1 hour, like we saw in some of the previous tests, the two phones perform identically, with each phone dropping by 10%. But as we head into Snapchat, the iPhone's advantage is likely going to be a factor here, considering that Snapchat is one of the most intensive tests in this entire battery test, and considering that the Galaxy has a 40 megapixel selfie camera setup, I'm not sure if it's going to do any better in this test than in others. And after just 35 minutes, all 5,000 mAh of the Galaxy's battery are completely depleted, with it only managing to beat the smaller iPhone 11 Pro by 10 minutes, while this iPhone 11 Pro Max here still has 17% left to go, which allows it to finish the Snapchat test with an impressive 12% of battery remaining, allowing it to move on to the app cycle test, which, by the way, the iPhone's still the only phone that's been able to do that, where after 1 hour and 5 minutes of this extremely intensive test, the iPhone finally calls it quits, with it managing to last a full 1 hour and 30 minutes of screen time longer, despite having a battery that's over 1,000 mAh smaller, making the winner and still the PhoneBuff style battery test champ, the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Anyways, that is it for me in this video. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.